on the floor. The east and the west, their battles won't matter. Only the music can settle the score. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die all alone, then turn into bone. So rock till you die. Yeah, bones remembering my eyes, and when they eat my flesh, but I got the power to run all the hours to rock my life away. The sound of the crowd, the creak of the bone, I play it so loud with my mates or alone. It don't really matter if my world should shatter. I hold it together in honor to stone. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die all alone, then turn into bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die all alone, then turn into bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die all alone and turn back to bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die all alone and turn into bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. It is I, Dr. Thaddeus Rusty Venture, and this is an intro to True Blue Riffcast with Jeremy and Dave. Riffing about RiffTrax and bad movies, such as The Godfather, Citizen Kane, and The Devil Wears Prada. Rusty. Yes, I'm sorry to interrupt, but those are all good movies. In fact, great movies. Well, James, did you ever hear of a little expression called eye of the beholder? Well, yes, but there's such a thing as truth, and you're not being very truthful. I disagree. What is truth? What is true blue? What is a riffcast? These are questions. They are questions. Look, why don't we just try a second take? All right. Hello, it is I, Dr. Thaddeus Rusty Venture, and this is an intro to True Blue Riffcast, riffing about bad movies, such as Back to the Future, The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, and Cannonball Run. No, I can't accept this. I mean, I'm not going to say Cannonball Run is great, but it's certainly good of its genre. And what genre is that? Film Twitter? What? Look, don't call me that, first of all. A rollicking, frolicking 70s road comedy, I guess? Fair enough, James. Fair enough. All right, well, I think that's enough intros. Perhaps we should do an outro now. What do you say? Indeed. Thank you for coming to True Blue Riffcast. Sit back, relax, enjoy the cast. All right.
Oh, thanks, James. This is the True Blue Riffcast, and I am Jeremy, joined as always by...
Hi, I'm Dave, joined as always by Jeremy. How are you, Jeremy? We are live, etc., here on a Tuesday. Well, it's morning for me. I don't think it's morning for you.
No, it is noon for me, and this is probably how it's going to be for at least the next couple months, and maybe longer than that, depending on after that, because my work schedule changed, and now I have to get up at 3 in the morning on Mondays. So
I don't feel bad for you.
Sunday, thank you. So Sundays aren't going to work. So we're going to do it on whatever day I get off during the week. And at least for the next couple of weeks, it is Tuesday. So the next couple Tuesdays will be here, same time at noon. Yeah. But we didn't have a show last week because of Halloween, so it's good to be
Halloween.
back.
Yep.
I'm very excited
Lots
about
of stuff
today.
has happened. Yeah.
Oh, lots of stuff has
to talk
happened.
about.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff.
Like
Anything
these
exciting?
new leaks that are just coming out today about Spider-Man.
Oh, are we gonna be Mr. Spoilies here live on
we're
Twitch?
gonna be Mr. Spoilies live. Yes, live on the
Is
True
there
Blue
a policy on
Riffcasters.
Twitch? No spoilers, or we're gonna ban you.
Probably not.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
well, I don't know. There might be, I guess. But, yeah, some new stills have leaked from another apparent leaked trailer, like the first one that we got a couple days before they released the actual trailer. And this one shows a few people that have long been speculated to be in this movie, including Matt Murdock and maybe a couple other Spider-Men.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, I think we can say it like Tobey Maguire's and the other one, Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, Toby and Andrew.
Yeah.
Because there is a picture. This is a brand new picture. It's not the same ones that were leaked before of Toby, Andrew, and Tom all standing together, all with their masks off, holding them. But they each have their respective movie suits on, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would be kind of dumb if they didn't do that. Like, if they were doing everything else.
They're bringing in all these villains, but let's not bring in the Spider-Man.
Well, yeah, let's not do the one thing that everybody would, like, flock to the theater to see.
Right?
Yeah.
You tell people this is happening, this movie is going to be ballistic. Like,
yeah, it's like, no, I mean, like, I think, like, when the next trailer drops probably is... Or I don't know if they would want to put it in the trailer. Be like, oh, we want people to be surprised in the theater. Yeah.
yeah, that's why it's leaked
I don't
all
know.
over
If
the
you wanted
internet.
people to be surprised in the theater, then you wouldn't have put Spider-Man in the Captain America Civil War trailer, all right?
Yeah, right.
You would have just done that dumb crap.
Yeah. But today we're going to be talking about the second half of the group of Harry Potter films. We did the first four, our last episodes. We're going to be finishing that up today, which is kind of good timing because right now they're celebrating 20 years of Harry Potter movies.
Oh, God. Well, we
The
haven't
first
had a
one
Harry
came
Potter
on.
movie in what, 10 years?
It's been a while since the last one came out. I don't know exactly when that was, but
Yeah,
look.
but what you were saying before I interrupted you is that the first one came out in 2001.
2001, yes.
Yeah, when they're all little tiny baby people.
Yes. Let's see. When did this one come out? I've got it up, but it's not giving me a release date. Where is it? 2011 was when the last
Yeah, so it's been... oh, gosh,
The
we
Deathly
live in a
Hallows Part 2.
We live in a universe where 2011 was a decade ago. Chew on that.
It doesn't seem real. Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't seem like a real number. But we're also going to be talking about the last RiffTrax live show that we got here for this year, Amityville 4: The Evil Escapes. For the people watching, you can see I've got my shirt on for the live shows. It still says 2020, but
Well, I mean,
we all know what happened there. So
aren't 2020 and 2021 just like different halves of one big long year?
yeah, it definitely feels like it. Like it's just one big long double XL year.
Cluster F.
Yes, a big
Of
one.
nonsense.
Oh boy. So what's new with Dave?
Well,
How's the search for narrators for your audiobooks going?
well, I'm glad you asked. It almost seemed like we set this up to discuss this, but
We don't set anything up ahead of time. I
no,
don't know what
not
we're
at all.
talking
We
about.
just do completely. We like, guys, look, here's like real talk. This is how the show is produced. Jeremy takes just like notes, like all kinds of notes of everything he wants to talk about. I come here. I don't I don't not prepare, but I don't really prepare that much. I just come here and I just say whatever's on my mind. Jeremy takes notes. I don't do any of that.
Yeah.
I just
And
like
then
I'll
half
send
the
him-
time I lose my notes. And
Yeah. But I like have some ideas of kind of things that I want to talk about. One thing is something that happened was I believe a direct result of something that happened the last time we were live.
Ooh.
So remember how I was complaining about how I was looking for narrators and I was getting like robots like auditioning.
Yeah,
and
you're getting
annoying.
like spam.
Yeah. So I was like, I didn't think that this could happen. And they were like, hey, if you guys want to, I put up the audition links. Unfortunately, after we, like right after we finished doing our stream last time, immediately afterwards, I found out, unfortunately, that my 16-year-old cat had to be put down.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because it was not good. So I spent the rest of the day being sad. But the later that night, I get like 2 emails in succession of each other, and they're both auditions. I'm like, oh, this is cool. So, but I didn't listen to it that night. The next day, I got up. I mean, I got subsequent auditions for all 3 of these things. The auditions started rolling in, but I got 2 auditions, one for Happy Valley, the other for Son of Santa, from this same woman. And I'm not going to say her name because I'm not really sure if she wants me to say who she is. But they were excellent. They were awesome. This woman is just like amazing. And she's like professional. I was like, oh, wow, this is like the best auditions I've gotten so far. So I contacted her, and I didn't want her to do both of them. Not because she's not awesome, but because that's a lot of work. So I said, hey, I love your audition. You know, you have a great, awesome sounding voice. How would you like to do Son of Santa? She said yes. She had filled out some kind of form. For some reason, she contacted me on Twitter and like added me on Twitter and said that like, hey, I filled out this form. I'm like, cool. So like, you know, like a nosy Nelly, I go to her Twitter thing, her page on Twitter, and she's followed by like some people that we know, like within like the Mistyverse.
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna I'm gonna try to keep this woman's privacy down as much as I can because I don't want to like embarrass her or anything, even though I'm saying all these great things about her. But so I was like, and then I noticed one of her followers was someone I know who definitely listened last time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So that kind of leads me to believe that this great, awesome narrator that I have for Son of Santa listens to this either listens to this podcast or is like in our orbit. I have like very good reasons to believe she's in like the whole RiffTrax orbit. And I was like, well, this is really, really cool. So, and I think she either listens to the podcast or one of our listeners, I'm not going to mention his name, but Josh Flowers are his initials, tipped her off. Watch out for chat, see if any of this is confirmed in the chat. But yeah, it's amazing. She's awesome. And it was because of, I believe, I mean, I haven't talked to her about it, but I believe it was because, you know, we brought it up on the podcast last time. So yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty awesome. I mean, I went and I checked out her website and, you know, she like does like really good singing stuff. She's done other acting stuff. It's going to be her first audiobook.
That's
but
cool.
I have every confidence that she's going to be amazing.
Awesome. Well, thank you, whoever you are, for
I don't
doing
want
that for Dave.
I'm really kind of like like I almost didn't want to bring it up, but I think that's such a cool story, like that it's potentially because of the podcast.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way for sure.
Yeah, but I also like want to respect her privacy because she hasn't said anything about it anywhere else. So it's just like, well, you know, the next time I talk to her, I'll talk to her about it. It'd be like, hey, is it okay if I say your name? Because you don't want to say people's name, like you know.
Right. At least wait.
You don't want to do that.
You know, if you have to wait until it's released, then you know whatever. That is what it is. But cool. That's very cool.
I have another story that's sort of adjacent to that. It won't take very long. So you and I are friends on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you remember how I said, hey, I'm looking for on Facebook. I also mentioned this on Facebook as well. I'm looking for narrators. if you are a voice actor or an actor on my friends list, contact me and we'll see what we can do. Like, basically I was opening it up for auditions to like my friends who, I would give preferential treatment to because they are my friends and that's
Right.
just how the world works. Okay, so I was contacted that day by like 15 people.
Whoa.
Okay, by like who are on, like some I know semi well, others just contacted me out of nowhere, and I'd be like, they're like, hey, look at my website, I do this podcast, and all of them were just like, I have a podcast and I've been in audio dramas and stuff, and just like telling this stuff, but I've never done an audio book before. And I'm like, okay, cool. And they're like all bragging, like puffing themselves up like they're awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool. Well, here's a link to the audition site. You might have to register with ACX. Go ahead and audition. But the thing, not one of those people auditioned out of like 15, 20 people who contacted me on Facebook. Not one of those MFers auditioned. And I'm like, well, this is weird. But one of them, even after, it wasn't after I found, because I was able to fill all of them. The thing is that one of them emailed me back. They'd be like, this is royalty share. I don't think I could do that kind of work for just a royalty share. Now, what that is that the royalty share option is that I don't pay the narrator anything up front because I'm broke.
Yeah.
But in return, they get 50% of my royalties. So that's a royalty share. The narrator and the author will share. The other option is to just pay the narrator like hundreds or thousands of dollars up front. And then I own the production completely. I mean, I own the production completely anyway. They just get 20% of not 20%, 50% of my royalties, which is 20% of everything the audiobook makes.
Yeah.
And I got this real snarky email from this guy, be like, well, I don't know if I could do that kind of work for just a royalty share. I think you should have to do all the work. And he said this, he'd be like, I think you should narrate it if that's what you're going to ask people to do. I just didn't respond. And I was like, and I went to his website, his podcast is terrible. And like, he's terrible at editing. So I was like, dude, first of all, I didn't ask you to do anything. I invited everybody to audition. It's like, what am I going to do? Am I going to sit here and like, just because you're awesome, just give you the part? If you're not even going to audition, screw you, dude.
Yeah.
So I think that may have been, I'm not saying that they were all like this. I'm just saying that maybe a few of them had that kind of attitude. But later that day, because I got like multiple auditions for people who are actually on ACX, narrators who are in the audiobook game or who want to be in the audiobook game.
Yeah.
And they're going to work very hard. They just want to get something under their belt.
Right.
So I kind of feel that if I kind of like did all these audiobooks myself, which I don't want to do. I mean, who wants to listen to me for 10 hours over multiple books? No. But I think I would kind of like, if I'm building this empire and if I have the opportunity to give other people opportunities to like get an audiobook under their belt, even if I can't pay them very much or anything at all up front, and they're willing to do that, well, shouldn't I give them that opportunity?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like,
it's better than saying, well, you can do it for exposure.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. But interestingly enough, and we're going to talk about RiffTrax and movies here in just a second, but I just want to get like, yeah, eventually, yeah. But the day of RiffTrax Live, this guy sent me this the day of RiffTrax Live, and I'm like, whatever, screw you, dude. And I got an audition from a girl for the Tumbleweed dossier, and again, I'm not going to mention her name, but and she was awesome. And I was like, hey, you're my number one choice. Would you like to do it? And she's like, yeah, it might take me, a week or 2 weeks if I have to do all the editing. And I was like, well, ACX makes you do the editing. So yeah, well, 2 weeks, but you don't have to do it that fast. And I gave her a delivery date. She signed the contract. And I Googled this girl. Apparently, she's a big deal.
Really?
Yeah, she has like, I don't want to say who it is because I don't want to jinx it, and but I mean, like, she signed the contract and everything, but I'll tell you, Jeremy, who it is offline.
All right.
But I'll just say this woman has been nominated for a Daytime Emmy Award.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
That's
hey,
awesome.
dude who has a podcast who didn't want to work for a royalty share.
Yeah.
But anyway, I got all three. Well, technically all four, because Rick Wolf of Incognito, Cinema Warriors XP, and Robot Co-op is doing Monkey.
Nice. That'll be good, I'm sure.
Yeah, so he's actually been working on that for a while. But the rest of them, yeah, Happy Valley, Son of Santa, and the Tumbleweed Dossier, I all got amazing narrators for. I mean,
Nice.
They're just like, I don't think, and they're all audiobook rookies, but they all sound amazing. So I'm very happy with my stable of narrators, especially the one who may be listening right now.
Cool. Well, now let's go on and talk about something that's not amazing, and that's Movie Head Pictures Twitter feed.
Oh, I haven't looked at that in a minute.
It's just been a few pictures recently. One with James and a couple of the actors. He's like framing them for a shot or something. It says Birdemic 3 is the second movie to be filmed at San Juan Bautista since Vertigo. So he's filming on the location of Vertigo. He's like super into Vertigo lately. He also took a shot at the Hitchcock house where he's filming Birdemic 3. And then he posted a picture from the amazingly talented Damian Carter, where he just finished recording his new song for Birdemic 3, entitled Cosmic Beauty.
What? Wait a minute, didn't he do...
Starbright was the one for Birdemic 2. And he did Hanging Out With My Family for the first Birdemic. And then he did a song for The Spiritual Love, because he was the pastor guy that he talked to at Julia Jack, yeah.
Be like, yeah, hey, it's totally okay to go be in a relationship with a computer ghost. Yeah, love is in your heart, man.
Yeah, it's
God is down with you doing a machine in cyberspace.
Yeah, so that's a thing. So there's our quick little check-in on James. Did we talk about
how Rod's going to be in it and Natalie is not? Okay, all right.
Yeah, Natalie wanted nothing to do with it, and I don't.
Yeah. Whitney Moore is the actress's name. Yeah, she's like, no, thank you.
If you've ever seen the meme of the girl, like, with their hands on the sides of her face and like staring in awe at the stretchy cheese on the pizza, that's her. It's kind of an older one, but that's her. Anyway, let's move on now to the weekend box office. We've got a little bit to talk about here. The number one movie, of course, to nobody's surprise, Marvel's Eternals, bringing in over $71 million.
Now, for a Marvel movie, that's allegedly underperforming. I actually saw this movie.
Yeah, it got less than Shang-Chi did for the opening weekend, but we've got Dune in at second place, which is also available to stream on HBO Max. Mm-hmm. That one made $7.8 million for a total. It's a little under $85 million right now. No Time to Die in at third. Venom: Let There Be Carnage at fourth. And the apparently completely terrible Ron's Gone Wrong animated feature with Zach Galifianakis, bringing up the end of that with fifth place.
Oh, no. I actually saw Dune and Eternals since the last time we podcasted. I hear a dog.
Yeah, I think the mailman's here.
Okay. But Dune was actually pretty good, even though I only kind of knew what was going on most of the time, but
Well,
I think I got it all figured out.
They're making that like a 3-part thing instead of what they did to David Lynch with his version of Dune from the 80s, which is where he originally had like a 4.5-hour long movie to cover everything that was in the book, and then the studio's like, nah, and they're like, you gotta drop a couple hours off of that. So he literally had to like take a big like war scene and turn it into like this very short montage.
The montage.
That's why that happened in that movie. But this one, they're actually doing the whole story over 3 parts.
Here's my thing about Dune, about this Dune, is that holy crap, crack a joke once in a while, you guys. It's also serious. Why would you hire Dave Bautista if you're not going to have him crack wise?
I mean, do you really need to crack a joke when one of your guys' character's name is Duncan Idaho?
Duncan Idaho, yeah. But
That's one of the dumbest sci-fi names ever.
Duncan Idaho. It's like Johnny Utah. But no, but man, I'll tell you what. I mean, it's good. I don't know if I would see it again. I'll see the sequel, but like I don't know. Like, I was trying to explain Dune to my parents, and I did it very poorly. But then they're like, oh, well, what else is in the movie theater? Because I was having dinner with them the other night, and they're like, oh, well, I saw the Eternals the other day, and my parents are very, very, very conservative, very religious. Not to get into that aspect of it, but like, they would not watch something like Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And
the thing is about the Eternals is that it has both Richard Madden and Kit Harington in it. Rob Stark is fake Superman, and Kit Harington, they're setting him up to be the Black Knight in a later movie. So, but early on, there's a scene, a straight Game of Thrones fan service. Why is there a helicopter flying that low over me? Why? Why are you doing this to me? What the hell is going on?
Welcome to live podcasting, folks. That's a new one. That's definitely a new one. I don't think we've ever been interrupted by a helicopter before.
I'm very angry right now because why the hell is that helicopter doing way out here? I live in the middle of nowhere. I don't know why that helicopter is out here. Anyway, I'm very upset. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, there was a straight Game of Thrones fan service, and not to get spoilery or anything, but like they had a scene where they had Richard Madden's character meet Jon Snow's character, Kit Harington's character on screen. They like meet and shake hands, like you'll be like, "Oh, we brothers from another life," or something like that. It's just like, I don't know. Eternals, I had fun watching it. I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of fun watching it.
That's good to hear.
Rob Stark as fake Superman is the best thing about that movie, but it does have a lot of problems. I'm not gonna say what they are, but it's worth a watch. But if you had to choose, I would say wait for Disney Plus for Eternals. Dune is worth seeing in the movie theater, but I would wait for, like, you know, if your dollar's stretched thin, wait for Eternals to come out on Disney Plus.
Speaking of Disney Plus, if you guys didn't get to see Shang-Chi, that's coming out this Friday on Disney Plus. I'm excited to watch it again. I liked the fights a lot in that movie.
Yeah, it's very no retreat. It's a very Jeremy movie.
Yes, it is. Well, let's move along here, and let's get talking about.
This, we have
wonderful
10,000 movies we have to talk about.
This wonderful movie that was a made-for-TV sequel, the 4th in the series for Amityville. That is The Evil Escapes. And
I gotta say,
this movie was weird.
I gotta say, I enjoyed it on a different level. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, because I thought it was a very strange choice for RiffTrax Live. If it had been me, I would have gone with Ghost House and had this been a VOD. But
well, this is going to be a VOD, so.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But
oh my God, Ghost House would have been amazing.
Yeah, we've been pushing for that since the podcast began. But no, I actually think I enjoyed myself with this one more than I enjoyed myself with RiffTrax Live Hobgoblins. It was a really good time.
I get that.
It was
completely.
a really, really good time. Before we get into the story aspect of it, there's one thing I wanted to point out. You know, the kid, the guy, the boy.
Oh, yeah. That was,
you know who that actor is? I found out.
That was Nog.
That's Nog from Deep Space Nine. That's Aaron Eisenberg, who's dead.
Yeah, he passed 2 years ago.
Yeah. When I found that out, I was like, "That was Nog."
Yeah.
How did I not
was like,
recognize
this kid.
him? Oh.
There was something familiar about his facial features in general.
Yeah.
And
He had a big old butt glued to his head.
Yeah, I looked it up like as soon as we were walking out of the theater. I'm like, oh, okay, that was a Nog.
And I was like, "That's crazy."
I get it
But
now.
anyway, the story is absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, completely. Because okay, the first thing to mention here is at the end of Amityville 3, they blew up the house. The house was destroyed.
I've never seen any of the Amityvilles, I gotta say.
So this one just kind of negates that completely. It ignores the fact that the house was destroyed. But so we have these two old ladies at an estate sale at this house.
It's a yard sale.
Yeah, and they're going and they find this lamp that has been possessed by the evil spirit from the house. And the one old lady just like, "Oh, this thing's amazing. I'm gonna buy it and send it to my sister, or to my niece or aunt or whatever, whoever it was."
To like my old bitty sister. It's
yeah, it was Alice Leacock, and so she cuts her finger on the lamp, and this is definitely important. This is like Chekhov's finger, you know.
Yeah.
She buys the lamp, she packages it up, and she gets it delivered out to California.
Yeah.
From Amityville, New York to California. This huge lamp that is like person-sized. I don't even want to know, even back when this movie was made, I don't want to know how much it would have cost to ship something like that.
This is like as a practical joke. And then like, okay, why didn't the sister like immediately throw it away?
I would not have kept it. I would have been like, really? This is what you're going to send me? I would have stamped return to sender or something on it. But when the delivery guy comes to get the lamp, she's rinsing off her finger, which is now all purple. Like the whole finger is purple. And she's just rinsing it off under the water. She's like, I've had worse. Spoiler alert. Halfway through the movie, she dies from tetanus.
Yeah, she has
that she got from the evil lamp.
And young Frederick Lane plays plays the priest.
Yeah, he's trying to find where the lamp went because he knows that the spirit went in the lamp. But it's in California now at the Leacock house.
The Leacock house. So
then Patty Duke moves in. Yeah. Yes, and this is another kind of deep connection with RiffTrax because Patty Duke's son is, of course, Sean Astin. Yeah. And so, we've got that going for us. But, oh my God, this movie. Okay, she's got 3 daughters. The youngest daughter, Jessica, thinks that her dad is still alive. Their father has passed. And she is convinced that he is still alive. Even before they move into the house, she's convinced of it.
And she becomes a lamp worshiper.
Yes, because it takes on the form of her dad to talk to her. and ends up brainwashing her and stuff. It's really weird.
Yeah.
This lamp, of course, is making all kinds of things happen in the house. It somehow puts the lady's parrot in the toaster oven. Which
even like I could have sworn I put this cover over the bird cage.
Yeah.
Or maybe it just hated you that much that it took its own life by roasting itself alive in the toaster oven.
It scares the crap out of the cat Pepper.
Yeah.
We're trying to remember what else this lamp does. The handyman's son comes over to pick up.
The older daughter is way into him.
Yeah, even though he's not. I don't know. I thought he looked kind of.
He wore
goofy,
a leather jacket, Jeremy.
But he was coming to pick up. What was he picking up? Was he picking up the toaster oven?
No, I don't know.
The tea kettle. It was the tea kettle because it burnt her hand.
Yeah.
Even though it shouldn't have because it had a plastic thing. The garbage disposal isn't working. So he actually does this smart. He tapes up the switch for the disposal so it can't accidentally get flipped while he's got his hand down there.
Yeah.
So he sticks his hand down there and the lamp flicks the switch. It pushes the tape out of the way and it flips the switch and homeboy loses a couple fingers down in the
I thought it was his whole
disposal.
hand.
Probably.
I think it was his whole hand because later on when the plumber gets there, like that's how the plumber dies is because like the hand is what's causing the backup.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And the whole hand like falls out on him and then like we need to talk about this scene in particular because it was really gross. Like okay, when they're leading up to it, the plumber's crawling under the house. He's going through the crawl space. He's trying to find like the access point or whatever, and he finds it and he starts like trying to undo it, and it's stuck pretty good. And then the pipe starts bulging, and then Bill says, "Oh, by the way, I hope everybody had a nice big dinner before they came here tonight." And the pipe, he gets the end off, and this just gross sludge. All this
sewage starts coming out, and I think it was Kevin. He's like, "Oh, it's just chocolate pudding that somebody ate the other day," And like, the hand comes out of there, and the best part about the plumber is that after the lamp kills him, the lamp then possesses the van and starts it up and drives it away. Yeah. So there's this dead plumber in the crawl space that they never find out about.
Okay, look, he's never mentioned again. And presumably, because he's dead, he doesn't put the sewage or he doesn't put the plumbing back together.
Right, so the whole basement's going to flood with sewage.
Yeah, the whole basement's like not only going to flood, but like all their like poo and stuff is going to like empty out right onto his face. So.
And look, I know we're kind of jumping around, but there's really not much story to this other than evil lamp killing people. That's the story.
Oh, also there's like Patty Duke is talking to her mom like, "Oh, you don't want us here, like you don't love me." Of course they don't love you. It's like the grandma's kind of a biddy.
Oh, the grandma does not want these people in her house. She really does not like Fred, the boy. I think it's Fred. Yeah. No, Fred is the parrot. Sorry. Who's the boy? What's his name? Brian. She does not like him. There's a scene where he's looking around in the basement and he picks up a chainsaw that's on the workbench. The chainsaw starts on its own and starts swinging itself around the room while he's hanging onto it. And you can clearly tell this kid is terrified. Like, he actually looks very scared. And people come down and he's like almost hitting them with the chainsaw, and the grandma just starts yelling at him. Like, she's like, "Look what you've done to my basement. Why would you start the chainsaw?
Look what you done to all of my
jams and jellies.
My grandma things." Like, that's like the most grandma basement ever.
It totally is. But it's just like, I didn't do it. And obviously we know he didn't, but I think she would have grabbed a belt and just went to town, man.
Yeah.
On that kid.
because she was clearly born in like 1888. I mean, it's or she behaves like it, and but like the mom and the grandma are always taking like these passive aggressive digs at each other. Just like I'm like, who wrote this? So anyway, Frederick Lane, I don't know how you say his last name. I'm just gonna call him Frederick Lane. The priest shows up, and
Father
is
Kidler.
really like, yeah, like I'm gonna free these people from this lamp. And there's a big climax, and then other things happen. Big climax in the attic, and the lamp goes. I want to know like where this house was situated, because the lamp goes through the window in the climax.
Yeah, because Grandma picks up the lamp and chucks it out the window through the attic, and the house is situated on a cliff, but it can't have been that close to the cliff, right?
Yeah, no way.
So she like Supermans this thing. She just defenestrates it, and it just goes flying out onto the beach, and it explodes. Which
I don't want to sound sexist or anything, but there's no way that grandma did that.
She was this little old lady who must have weighed like 75 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
Like, she was skin and bone. There was nothing to her. But she just yeets this lamp like 500 yards. Like, it's like, how did you do that?
Ladies and gentlemen, first time the word yeet was ever used on the True Blue Riffcast right there.
Well, there's no other way. There's no other way to describe it. That's exactly what she did. Like, first she picked up the axe and she was going to, like, chop it or something. Because they're like, yeah, Team Axe, Grandma, woo!
Yeah. Okay, so, like, the name of this episode now is Grandma Yeets This Thing.
Grandma Yeets This Thing. Okay, I'll write it down so I don't forget.
Okay.
But
I don't get to name the shows that often. So when I do, I force it in there by saying it live on the stream.
But yeah, it was a crazy, stupid ending. Like who would have said that the 100-year-old woman
uninvited, and doesn't it possess like the dog or the cat?
Yeah, at the very end, they're looking for the cat, and it shows the cat down on the beach playing around the lamp, and all of a sudden the film freeze frames, and then the eyes glow red on the cat, and that's the end of the movie.
Because they used up all their special effects budget, which was
not very much,
which was $16.
Yeah, then they probably spent most of that buying flies.
Yeah, they gotta most of the special effects I think were probably done like in camera. I don't know, maybe. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It's a bad movie that I'm sure everyone involved is ashamed of.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, of course, if you look at it, most of the cast is dead. So
yeah.
And I'm not saying that to be mean, but I mean, like, most of these people in this movie were old.
Yeah.
And there were a few kids in the movie, and sadly,
at least one of them is dead. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, the only one who probably had an actual career.
Yeah.
And hey, he was in the best Star Trek series.
He was in the best Star Trek. That's true.
Yeah.
It's true fact. Deep Space Nine. At DC author, at D Chadwick author on Twitter if you want to at me.
Hey, I agree with you
100%
on that. Oh yeah, no, I don't like any of the new stuff. But we're not going to get into that again.
Yeah, let's not get into that. Yeah.
But if you
want
guys
to get into a real Twitter fight.
Yeah. If you guys missed this one live for whatever reason, it wasn't shown at your theater or, whatever, it will be coming out as VOD. And if we go by the timing from Hobgoblins, it should be out early December.
Yeah.
As a VOD. And, of course, if you backed last year's Kickstarter at the right level, you'll be getting that for free added to your library. There was also a very good short for this one. It was... like
I'm trying to remember what
accidents,
it was.
It's your fault or something
that's right.
like that.
Okay, yeah.
And it took place in like this mill. And
okay. All right, I'm remembering it now.
This short was okay, I love all the workplace safety shorts that they do, but this one was wild because like it's got this Gomer Pyle guy and he's like in charge of safety. at this mill, and he's hanging up this sign that's really just a mirror, and it says the accident is your fault or something like that at the top of it, basically saying, you know, you have to be accountable, you have to watch out for stuff, and you have to be safe, and that will stop most of the accidents. And this guy comes into work, Mike, was his name Mike? Big Mike, I think they called him.
Yeah, Big Mike, and then
and he's super angry because his piece of crap car won't start.
Yeah,
and so he has to get a ride to work with this safety guy, and he goes in and he's just
like
he's
it's
super
a big
angry.
inconvenience, right?
Yeah. I don't have to drive today, darn. And he's not paying attention. He gets his hand stuck in some of the machinery, and it's about as convincing as the effect where the guy got his hand cut off by the disposal in the movie.
Yeah.
But this is where I got mixed up because this guy lost a couple of his fingers. He didn't lose his whole hand.
Yeah.
So he's in the hospital after they carry him through the mill and they lay him down right in front of the mirror and literally grab his head and make him look at himself in the mirror.
It's like, guys, come on. It's like this just happened.
And so he's in the hospital and his daughter is there giving him his favorite fruit.
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Okay, now if you want to get technical, I mean, not to get all Nancy Reagan on you or anything, but tomatoes are technically fruit. But anybody who like considers them like fruit in their heart is an idiot because they're clearly very vegetable-y.
Yes,
like, they're gross. So, like, I've always described tomatoes as disgusting bastard apples.
Oh, that's a good one. I don't. I am not a fan of tomatoes. I'll eat them if they're in like a sauce or something, but I don't like. Tomatoes.
Well, tomato sauce is different. Yeah, I mean, like I'll do that, or like ketchup. I don't got a problem. Like, well, if you don't like tomatoes, why don't you like ketchup? It's like not the same thing.
No, it's not.
Dingus.
Ketchup is not just tomato blood. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you saw that too.
Yes. But so while he's in the hospital eating tomatoes. They wheel in another guy, this other who's younger. He's about the daughter's age.
Yeah.
And,
oh God.
His name is also Mike. And he broke his leg. I don't remember what they said he was doing, but he broke his leg, dorking around doing something.
Yeah.
And the daughter goes over with the basket of fruit.
Yeah, and like a romance starts. And he's like, I really like this tomato too. And I think doesn't the dad have like a problem with it? Like, oh, I don't know what's going on.
Well, he's always just looks like a mean old angry asshole anyway.
Yeah.
So like the fact that
what do they call it? What do they call it for girls who look like that? They say they have resting bitch face. There's got to be
there's gotta be something like that.
There's got to be a male equivalent of resting bitch face.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. But yeah, so he gets out of the hospital. And he's rethinking, you know, he's like, yeah, I guess it probably was my fault because I was, you know, super, super angry that day. And, yes. It's like the classic grape and raisin, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Atomic Hero Squad in the chat, yeah. But the dude is, like, super angry. But he comes out and he's feeling better now, and he's more self-conscious. And then the stupid safety guy, it shows him running around like bullfighting with the guy driving the forklift because he stole one of his like cigarettes or something.
Yeah, no, it's kind of silly, but like, doesn't he end up looking at himself in the mirror or something stupid?
Yeah, and he's like, oh, and then he's like, oh, by the way, I'm the narrator.
What?
That's like the very end of it.
That kind of reminds me of Buffalo Rider, like how at the end where the narrator ended up being like the grandson of the baby.
Yeah, it was something really dumb. But it was a great short. Oh my gosh, it was so good. But yeah, the whole show, if you missed it, you'll be able to check it out in like a month probably from now. They're pretty good about their turnaround time with this, so.
Yep.
And it's totally worth your time. Completely 100%.
This RiffTrax live season was so bizarre. And I mean, like, in a couple of different ways. It's kind of like the movie selection was a little bit more bizarre than usual. And of
Yeah.
course, the COVID thing where it ended up being like, where it got delayed, and the 2020 or 2021 RiffTrax seasons were the same thing, and
Yeah.
it's
It
like
was just
so
very
like
peculiar.
yeah. So I'm kind of excited for the 2022 RiffTrax live season, just to see. I don't think recover's the right word, but just kind of like see how, like everyone, like we all have, how they kind of like bounce back from the pandemic restrictions.
Yeah.
And
Guy from Harlem.
and how
Guy
we
from Harlem.
guy from Harlem and Ghost House.
Those
Guy
would be
from
great.
Harlem's public domain.
Yes.
You don't have to pay anybody squat.
No, just do it.
Do it. Do it.
It would be your biggest live show in a while.
Both me and Jeremy would go to it.
Yes. That's a whole two
Even
of
though we
us.
both go to all of them.
Yeah, this is also true.
Yeah, no, I think we've mentioned it many times. We both have our live RiffTrax live, our dream RiffTrax live shows, and on both of our lists is Ghost House and Guy from Harlem.
Yeah.
So.
I think everyone probably has their own wish list of stuff, and I'd be willing to bet that there'd be more than quite a few people who have either of those on their live show wish list.
Especially the true blue RiffTrax fans.
Yeah. They definitely
name
have it on there. Oh, well, Dave, the question. Yeah. Would you watch Amityville for the Evil Escapes by itself?
No. I would not. Sorry.
I wouldn't have even watched it when it was the movie of the week on NBC back in 1989 when it aired.
Yeah, it's just like it doesn't. It number one, it's like not really kind of like in my wheelhouse, because I actually listened to I haven't watched any of the Amityville horror movies.
Yeah,
they're like big horror staples. But I did listen to the audiobook, because I'm way into audiobooks now, for the Amityville horror.
I wonder why.
Yeah, it was included in my Audible Plus subscription. And it's the whole thing with Amityville, it's kind of bullcrap, but not just because it's like ghosts and like stuff. So like, well, obviously this isn't true. But I got to, there was a point in the book where they just be like, oh yes, by the way, and later that night they beat all their kids senseless with a cord. And I'm like, well, there it is. That's why none of this has happened. It's be like, they're horrible child abusers. Yeah. And they wrote this book that says that ghosts made them do it to cover it up, to cover up their horrific child abuse. It's like, no, you weren't haunted. You're just liars, and you beat your kids, and you should be in jail.
Yep. It's not great. Not great. I'm trying to remember who was in the remake. I don't know why. It just popped into my head. I'm going to look.
I think somebody I know. I think maybe someone from Lost was in it.
It was a big name, I think.
I think maybe like Kate from Lost. She's an Ant-Man. Was she in it?
I don't know.
Whatever her name is.
It was Ryan Reynolds.
Right? Really?
Yes.
Wow. Did he do this before or after Green Lantern?
Well, this was...
Either way, he didn't learn his lesson.
2005 was the Amityville horror remake. Yeah. There was a horror movie with a guy from Lost in it. It was the guy who was the brother, I can't remember his name. Oh my god, but he was in it. It was a Boogeyman, yeah. Yeah, he was in that. I don't know why I remember that. I never even saw the movie.
Got Boone, the guy from Vampire Diaries.
Sure. I don't know. I didn't watch Vampire Diaries, so.
Mr. Pretty Man.
Let's see. Now, see this is the other thing that we do, guys. We kind of go on these.
Yeah, let's talk about Lost for the next 15 minutes, because we still have 4 Harry Potter movies.
Oh God, yeah.
So let's just get into that.
Because we could sit and talk about Lost forever. But and the thing is, we both like it, and we both like how it ended. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
no, yeah. Okay, guys. Okay, just to put it out there before we talk about Harry Potter, the ending of Lost. I don't know what you guys' problem is, but y'all need to calm down. Okay. First of all, it's been like 12 years. Okay. Chew on that. Secondly, it's like I actually like that they didn't answer all the questions because then none of it would make any sense.
Right.
So it's best to leave that stuff to like the imagination. And like I don't know what people were expecting. Actually, I know exactly what they were expecting. They were expecting that like all their theories would come true.
Yeah. And then when it didn't, they
got
failed to
mad.
realize I don't write this show.
Yeah.
So I don't get to dictate how it ends.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to Harry Potter.
Yeah. Harry Potter. That's
our
right.
last show we discussed the first 4 movies in the Harry Potter series. So we talked about Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, and Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
And so today we're going to be discussing briefly Order of the Phoenix,
Yeah.
Half-Blood Prince, and Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2.
2. Okay. So Order of the Phoenix is actually the first Harry Potter RiffTrax I watched / listened to, however you want to say it. And it's just like it completely sold me on RiffTrax Harry Potter, but also like on Harry Potter because it was also around the same time they were doing all their Twilight stuff. So
Yeah.
like all my Twilight and Harry Potter mythology is mixed in with RiffTrax and mixed in with each other, and that's why in Storybook Harry Potter and Twilight are like the crossover. It's one of the crossover chapters.
Yeah.
But it's I thought it was great. It's a fantastic riff. I think
Oh, absolutely.
it's probably I think I like for as far as like the RiffTrax goes for Harry Potter. I think the standouts for me anyway are 3, 4, 5, and 6 out of the 8 they did. So like those are my top 4 out of the 8.
Yeah.
I
I think I would probably agree with that.
Yeah.
Goblet of Fire is definitely like, I think that's my top. My
yeah,
top
I think it's
favorite.
probably for
My
me
top
for
favorite,
me
yeah,
for
duh.
me it's a toss up between 4 and 5 as far as Harry Potter riffs go. So it's between Goblet of Fire and not Prisoner of Azkaban, the one we're talking about right now.
Order of the Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a really great scene in here where they're at the Ministry of Magic, and they're like having like a court case, and Dumbledore comes walking out, and he says his full name: Albus
all his
Percival
dumbass
Wulfric
names, yeah.
Brian Dumbledore, and then they just continue it with the third Esquire, Junior, Mrs. That's one of my favorite riffs. And then when they're like going back, you know, they have like the trap set up.
Yeah.
You know, like
And
sneaking back in.
Is this a mic joke?
Yes, you probably know
Okay.
which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think I know exactly the one you're talking about.
But I like when they first get down in there. They're like come out of the elevator and they're just like, the voice says, Department of
Department of
Magic
Mysteries.
something. Yeah, Department of Mysteries, yeah. And they're just like also hardware, ladies lingerie, and blatant traps for idiot
children. That's right.
Yes, we're going to go to the box with Sirius under it and see if they pull the stick out.
Yeah.
And where's Admiral Akbar when you need him?
It's a trap. It's like this obvious, clear trap. Oh, there's another great. Okay, before they go to the you know how they're in Umbridge's office.
Yeah.
Hot take: Umbridge, best headmaster that school ever had, because they need to whip that school into shape, man. There's too much tomfoolery happening at Hogwarts. So that's a joke.
Yes.
But you know how this whole time is Snape evil or is he not? And we'll get on to the next one. In the next 2 movies, the convoluted life of Severus Snape, whom everybody loves, and Alec Rickman, I want to have his babies. There was where Snape covers for Harry.
Yeah.
In Umbridge's office. He's like, no, I don't. And then I think it's, I can't remember. I think it's probably Bill who says, be like, that's right. I am Snape. Who do I work for? Nobody knows. Now I shall dance.
Yeah, I think that was Bill.
Yeah. That's one of my, like, there are a lot of really, really good riffs. I mean, like, and I think, now someone's trying to call me on the other line, but they're going to go ahead and...
they're going to have to wait.
They're going to have to wait because I'm doing a podcast talking about Harry Potter, okay?
I'm talking about Harry Potter in the year 2021, damn it.
That's right.
But we're not talking about it in the way that most people are talking about it.
No. But, yeah, it's...
because, you know what? Read a different book.
Yeah.
There's more to life than just Harry Potter.
Well, no, but actually, you want to know what book
Awesome on Twitter.
You want to know what book I'm listening to right now on Audible?
Yes.
The Christmas Pig by J.K. Rowling.
The Christmas Pig.
The Christmas Pig, yeah.
Interesting.
It's like she's like doing kids' books again, and not like these gigantic mysteries where she pretends to be a man.
Speaking of Christmas books, I really need to find my copy of The Stupidest Angel by Christopher Moore. I haven't read that one in a couple years, and I love that book so much.
That's he's one of my favorite authors.
That was the first. That was the first Christopher Moore book I read, and that like got me hooked, and I ended up reading a whole bunch more.
If you're out there and if you want to know, here we go again with our offshoots. if you got to pick like my favorite Christopher Moore books, I think if like Blood-Sucking Fiends, Island of the Sequined Love Nun, and Lust Livered of Melancholy Cove. That's Christopher Moore at like his best.
Blood-Sucking Fiends is great.
Is amazing. But I think out of those three, if you only have to pick one, pick my favorite, which is Island of the Sequined Love Nun. But anyway, Harry Potter.
Yes.
So anything more to say about Order of the Phoenix?
I don't really think so. See, that's what I like about this is we don't really have to talk about the movies themselves because, we don't have to go in depth on any of these because everybody knows what Harry Potter is.
Yeah, what Harry Potter is. Yeah, be like, hey, look, if you want to go ahead and draw Umbridge, Harry Potter, erotic fiction, that's your deal, okay?
Please
it's your
don't.
deal.
Not
Leave us out of it, okay?
Oh, now my brain is racing. Thanks, Dave.
No problem.
Thanks. Oh, okay. Well, so I don't have to think about that anymore. Let's move on to Half-Blood Prince.
Which is underrated, I think, as a riff, honestly.
Yeah, I do too. One of my favorite lines comes, pretty close to the beginning on this one, I believe. It's when he's standing there and the train just goes right by him. And I think it was Bill. And he's just like, Thomas was in no mood to stop for wankers that day.
Oh, it's just like, and by the way, our newspapers are confusing and ridiculous. It's like they're trying to recap.
Yes. And they're walking around Hogwarts. These halls haven't been the same since nearly headless Nick got dragged back down to hell.
Oh, wait. Okay, there's something in the previous riff. That I forgot to mention.
Phoenix. Yes.
Yeah, in Order of the Phoenix, that is relevant to this and what you just said, and to like the Harry Potter films overall, is that at some point, they decided that the competition between houses for the House Cup.
Oh yes.
Yeah. They tossed that aside. Yeah. And I think even with Quidditch in number 5, I don't think there was any Quidditch at all.
I don't think so.
But anyway, somebody said something about 10 points to Gryffindor. Kevin says 10 points to Gryffindor, or are we not doing that anymore? And then there's another one where they're like trying to throw the fortune teller, Emma, what's her name?
Oh, yeah.
Trying to throw her out. And then Harry's chasing Dumbledore, and he's like, who's winning the House Cup? We haven't had an update on that in like 3 movies.
We need to
So-
know.
So Quidditch kind of took a nap,
Thankfully.
and the House Cup, it just never gets brought up again. And like the whole business with like, even in Half-Blood Prince, where like they try to like downplay like a lot of the stuff that were the staples of the first movie, like
Yeah.
getting on that dumbass train, and
At platform 9 3/4.
yeah, and you know, the whole beginning of the year feast and everything. In this movie, they just had Harry get beat up and left on the train. And they just have Luna find him, and you know, she does all her crazy Luna stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, like good for riffing. It's like Luna's always great for riffing. She's amazing. She might be my favorite. But you got any favorite? Like, I think probably one of my favorite riffs in this one happens towards the end, where they're in, like, it was the Battle of the Astronomy Tower, and Snape and Harry are hiding like right beneath.
Yeah.
And Snape shows up and tells Harry to shut up by like, you know, putting his finger to his lips. And Snape is like, this. I think it's Bill. Bill does the best Snape. It's like, this is my nose.
Yes. I love that. Because it's so simple, and
like, and do it quickly. Oh, dude, I love Harry Potter RiffTrax.
yes, it's so good.
Yeah, see, but after Half-Blood Prince, they I think they did that one in like 2011 or 2012. And then there was like a 2-year hiatus because they went on like their big VOD kick.
Yeah.
And then there was like this
felt like it took forever.
Yeah. But and like even like the RiffTrax forums at the times at forums.rifftrax.com where like that place is a ghost town now, but even back in the day when it was super active, people in that forum were just like toxic a-holes, man. Just like the biggest, and I hung out there a lot. But
yeah, it was almost exactly 2 years between Half-Blood Prince and the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
But man, you would not believe the complaining about
it's an internet forum, Dave. I could definitely
about being like, finish Harry Potter. When are you gonna finish Harry Potter? It's like they're doing other stuff now, guys. Go back and watch the last 6 Harry Potters.
Well, and then it was
out loud.
It was October. It was Halloween of 2013 when they did Deathly Hallows Part 1. And then when they did the second part,
8 years ago,
it was March
the long-awaited
2016.
2016, yeah. 8 years ago, the long-awaited update to the Harry Potter series was 8 years ago. Well, it took them so long to do this, man. I'm gonna be 1,000,000 years old by the time. Be like, well, yeah, that was 8 years ago. So I love doing this to Jeremy to remind him, because Jeremy's older than me and I don't like that I'm old. So I got to pick on somebody who's older than me just because
he likes reminding me how old I am.
Well, I'm not that much younger than you though. See, that's the thing. That's what makes it the most funny. But anyway, Harry Potter 7.
Yes, the Deathly Hallows Part 1. One of my favorite running gags in this is when in the time it would like fade out, go to black, and then it would fade back in, and then like, and we're back with Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, Part 2. And then it would fade out and come back, and then we're back with the Deathly Hallows Part 1, Part 3.
Oh, man. But just like, here's the thing about the last 2 Harry Potter movies. Not the riffs, because we all love pancakes, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But they're kind of bad. I don't like them as movies. Like, I wouldn't watch them on Rift. So let's get that out of the way right now. But it's just like the first one, the one we're currently speaking about, how convenient.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, so they have this big action scene at the beginning. And then after that, they don't even go to Hogwarts in this movie at all. They, it's basically Harry, Ron, and Hermione It's like they don't even get to like the Horcrux stuff until the next movie.
Yeah.
It's them being sad and wandering around the forest, and they do that for 2 hours. It's like, this did not need to be 2 movies. Why was this 2 movies? Oh, right, money.
Yeah.
And because Twilight was 2 parts for some stupid reason.
There's a great riff toward the beginning in the big action set when Harry is with Hagrid and they're like trying to escape, and they're going through the tunnel, and he like barely touches a bus like with his feet, and they make the joke, and in that brief contact with that city bus, Harry contracted every communicable disease, and a creepy old man spilled juice on his pants.
Oh God.
And then as they're flying away, oops, just clipped the flying bicycle. Some kid in a red hoodie and his ugly little friend. I really liked that one. When they're at the Weasley's house.
Oh.
And like the people are starting to show up. One of the guys, there's a showdown outside. They're pointing their wands at each other, and the one guy says, "What are the last words that Dumbledore spoke to the pair of us?" And they say, "These Pop-Tarts are a bargain." Love that so much.
Oh God.
When Harry's like looking for that necklace and he finds it, and Bill's like, "Aha! The Goblet Stone of Alakazam." Sorry, guys, I lost the plot.
Well, okay. You want to know what my favorite part of this whole movie was?
They're so good. What's that?
Is at the end of the movie. Like they bookend this with like 2 big action battles.
Yeah.
And like whatever. And Dobby shows back up for the first time in like a billion years, thank God. And they brought him back just to kill him off.
Just to kill him off.
Was he in any of the other movies? I think he was in 2. I don't remember him being in any of the other ones.
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, I hate.
I know
Dobby
there was
a lot.
There was a different house elf in one of the other
Creature.
ones.
Yes.
Yes, Creature. Yes, I liked Creature so much better than Dobby.
Anyway.
I mean, they cut out the whole like subplot of like Hermione fighting for house elf
liberation.
Rights. Yeah. So that he didn't really need to show up much because
out of the books
they weren't that important. But it did lead to my favorite joke in the Deathly Hallows Part 2 after he died.
Yeah.
When they're standing there, they're surveying the carnage, and there's like dead students, and he's just like, "I know it hurts, but take comfort in the fact that Dobby is still dead."
Dobby is still dead.
But that means he was alive at one time.
But there's what you call it? There's a joke I like to make on Twitter, on Facebook, just to see how many friends I can lose at one time. They put on Dobby's tombstone. Dobby, he was a free elf. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say free? I meant dead. Dobby is a dead elf.
Oh, he is a dead
and then
elf.
all my friends who are like Harry Potter like freaks, like Dobby was the hero. I was like, no, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. He was annoying. Oh,
but
man.
anyway, the next movie is where they like go back to Hogwarts and all the incomprehensible Horcrux stuff, which is done so well in the books. Okay, look, here's the thing. Harry Potter, the book, like the Deathly Hallows, is probably the best Harry Potter book because J.K. Rowling grew as a writer and she evolved, and it's just like, you can tell she wants to write more adult kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so the 7th one is clearly the best. But the movie is the worst 2 movies out of all.
It really is. I love what they put on here for the blurb for Deathly Hallows Part 2. At long last, the conclusion to the endless, seriously endless, so unbelievably endless, they took 2 whole movies to end it, endless Harry Potter saga.
Yeah. But is there anything really like anything that sticks out at you? Because there's one thing that sticks out about that. The one thing that I remember the most from this movie, and it's none of like all the stuff. I mean, there is the thing at where Harry goes, he dies, he sees Dumbledore's ghost or some stupid crap. And but there's that. I remember that. Then they have the big fight scene where like old Bob Snakeface gets killed and he turns into ash.
Yeah.
And Hogwarts is in ruin. But like the thing that I think sticks out to me the most is the very end of the movie.
Oh yeah, after let's see, after he defeats Voldemort or Bob Snakeface, I really like that name.
Yeah,
he like breaks the Elder Wand.
Yeah,
like this ancient artifact from the. He just snap.
He just throws it. I'm not gonna do it. And then the riff on that is Bill's like he like makes a new enemy. He's like, oh no, you killed me. Like this wand is stuck in my head. I got at least 8 movies
right before
worth of stuff.
Before we get to the actual bad thing, the worst thing in this movie.
Oh yeah,
There's a great riff when Voldemort is turning into ash.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait a second, you're not Jerry Potter? I've made a huge mistake. I really like that. But yeah, we get a flash forward.
Oh, yes. We might as well do this.
For Harry and the gang. And when does that flash forward take place again, Dave?
Okay, so here's a couple things about the flash forward. Harry Potter, like added. I went to the Harry Potter wiki because this is the kind of time I have. And I was like looking up because I used to lurk around on the Harry Potter wiki a lot back when I was like way into Harry Potter, RiffTrax Harry Potter, I should say.
Yeah.
Because it's 2 different things. And just kind of like see like. Because J.K. Rowling did a whole bunch of dumb stuff where she said this person's married, this person, like all this other stuff where all this kind of like where I was kind of mad at J.K. Rowling for a long time because she wouldn't stop messing with it.
Now she's saying all kinds of other dumb stuff, but
well, I mean, we don't talk about that here.
No, we don't talk about that here. But yes, we are aware of it. Just throwing that out there. We are
aware of it. We are, and. The irony of her pretending to be a man to publish her other books is not lost on us. But the thing is, and I completely lost my train of thought, but
talking about how old, when it took place.
How old? Yeah, they calculate how old Harry Potter was and like on the exact date he was born. I don't know where they get this from, but apparently, like in the movies. Or in some official guide that's sanctioned by J.K. Rowling, like it's somewhere established that Harry Potter was born on July 31st, 1980. Okay, so today before the podcast, and I just show you that I do prepare, I asked Siri, how old is Harry Potter? I think she's going to tell me to F off. Like, she's not going to tell me what that is. Number one, I'm driving in my car. She's going to be like, I can't give you that information while you're driving. No, she didn't do that. She'd be like, Harry Potter, like he was a real person. Like he was Barack Obama. Like I asked how old Barack Obama was.
Yeah.
Like Harry Potter was born on July 31st, 1980, and is 41 years old. And I was like, damn. He's 6 months older than me. But that flash forward scene, so they're like this wiki has like everything cataloged, like every battle, every character has a birthday, and like they were able to just it's very intricate. So this flash forward, they calculated it to where this flash forward takes place on September 1st, 2017. This far future flash forward took place 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. Now, the reason this is so extra depressing is how they made our heroes look.
Yeah,
in that scene.
They aged them up a little bit,
they aged, but they weren't kind to them either.
No.
Like they they weren't like, a couple of years ago, Jennifer Lopez and Shakira were jiggling their butts on like some New Year's Eve freaking show, and they're like, one of them's like 57, the other one's like approaching 50, and they're like, oh wow, good for them. No, they didn't really do that for Harry Potter, and these guys are in their mid-30s.
Yeah,
and they look terrible. They like
Yeah,
it's like
dumpy.
they put them all in like these middle management jobs, made them like regular, like it seemed like they went out of their way to make them regular looking, burnt out, just like people who've just given up. It's like,
yeah.
it's like they didn't take care of themselves. It's just like, it looks real bad. Like, especially Harry, I think. Because like the 5 o'clock shadow they gave Harry makes him look so old.
It really does. It really does.
It's like it's like I like back then. So he was like 36 or 37 in that scene.
Yeah.
You're 36. You shouldn't look like that.
No, you definitely shouldn't look that dumpy.
But anyway, they did all those characters dirty in that scene by just making them look the way they did. It's depressing.
They sure did. A couple of my favorite, one of my other favorite riffs from this last film was when Snape was dying. And they're talking about Quidditch, and he's like, Quidditch was a joke. It was never meant to be a thing. And he's like, I regret two things: inventing Quidditch and making out with Filch. Well, one thing, really. Filch was surprisingly tender. I liked that. But I'm going to end this on a bummer note.
Okay.
I'm going to end this on a bummer note. For anybody who is around our age, which is probably most of the people who listen to this,
wow.
who remembers, as an ambulance drives by my house, remembers the show Quantum Leap. Dean Stockwell has passed away.
What? Why are you bringing that up on the True Blue pot on True Blue
Because
Riffcast?
I just saw it. It just happened.
And that's how we're going to end?
An hour ago. That's how we're going to end the podcast today. I don't mean to be laughing about it, but yeah, it's he was 85. Yeah, 85.
Wasn't he in Dune too?
Yes, he was in the original David Lynch Dune. And I mean, obviously he's been in a lot of stuff, but most people would recognize him from.
He was being a hologram.
Yeah, he was Al.
Hologram helper man. Yeah.
Yep.
So they can't ever do that Quantum Leap revival when we find out if main character man made it. Oh no, he never made it home. Well, we never found out what happened to that guy.
Yeah,
They just
honestly
killed him off in text.
I don't remember. I haven't seen Quantum Leap in quite a while, so. But yeah, that's depressing.
Yeah.
But hey, if you like the podcast, I can't do it. Oh,
wow,
man. No. I'm not gonna.
Quantum Leap.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna end it. I'm not gonna end it with a plug. I'll just say that's it for today.
Okay.
You can follow me on Twitter at PBandAwesome. Pretty much anywhere else on the internet that you find a PBandAwesome, it's gonna be me. So say hi wherever you're at. You can also follow the podcast at TB Riffcast. And as soon as we're done here, we are going to raid RiffTrax, I think.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
But yeah.
And I'm Dave. You can check me out on Twitter at DChadwickAuthor. Got it right this time.
Hey.
Because for years and years it was something else. And you can check me out at my website at davechadwick.info and buy all my books. And yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's it for this week's episode. We'll see you guys next week for more True Blue Riffcast.
Rock till you die.
till you die.